What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you another World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This is another replay from Mr. Never Aim. He sent in two right back to back. Like I said, I'm just going in these in the order I got them, so this is in no way me trying to stack all his replays. It's just me playing them in the order I got them, like I said previously. Now, he is in an M10 Wolverine, and the enemy team, apparently, let's just give a quick look-see at the tiers. For the most part even, but the enemy team does have a slight advantage in terms of tier 5s. Tier 4s seem to be fairly even except for that BT7, so and then there's a couple tier 3s. So a very light match. The M10 Wolverine not quite as light as the what is the M10 Wolverine before the... No, the M10 Wolverine leads to the M36 Slugger, which is getting renamed. I cannot recall to what. But, and the T49 leads to the M18 Hellcat. That is what I'm trying to recall. Never Aim, pushing the northern flank. Now, this is in a game mode I'm not too fond of, which is Assault. Even on the defense, I really don't like Assault on this map in any way, shape, or form, defense or offense. It's just not really that fun for me. This M8 looking to take some free shots. Never Aim seeing if he's got some of the same, possibly, but... Really, the enemy team looking like they pushed right up the middle right away, which can work to their advantage greatly, and is already. So the Never Aim's team losing 2 tanks, one of their tier 5s, pretty early on in the match. Definitely not something you want to see in basically an assault round, is when you lose that little bit of a tank advantage you might have in the beginning. Just, oh wow, the enemy leaving the north complete. I'm sorry, that is a northern approach, but the 1-2 line kind of just unguarded. That scout tank, I'm guessing that's the T50, moving in to kill their one and only artillery piece, an M7 Priest. Never Aim doing that little zoom in zoom out thing. I remember he used to do that. I'm not quite sure what's up with that, but maybe it's just a glitch in his game, or maybe it's a glitch in the replay. I don't know, but it's a little bit distracting. Anyway, a strong enemy push to this northern area. Certainly not something you want to run into when your team doesn't have that many tanks behind you. Or rather, he does, but they aren't on the field yet. Good thing the enemy team is not pushing their tank advantage, which I'm just guessing they are not aware they have a tank advantage. That T50 did get himself killed before he could kill that artillery, so Never Aim does have to be concerned about that M7 doing something. But at the same time, he has a very rapid rate of fire gun, apparently. What is the damage and penetration? I am not really that well aware. So 115 at 128, that's about average for a tier 5. So right here, he's taking shots at where that enemy tank was, getting nothing but misses. So he's gonna aim for this Panzer IV and doing his he's just ignoring the enemies that are in front of him because he feels confident his team has enough of an advantage. But clearly not the case at the moment. This T1 will die to him. There we go. That M2 moving up to meet his doom, but Never Aim, wow, just having a very bad team at the moment. He's got 2 kills, 2 of his team's 4 kills. This Hetzer going to try and do something, apparently just taking a shot for no damage and bouncing a shell. And there we go, Never Aim bouncing a shell just in time. There we go. 3 kills and still down by 3 kills on his team. It's kind of something I've come to expect from assault matches, is the attacking team takes a very early on tank loss if they don't quite play it right, and then it becomes very hard to push the enemy team when you're down by 2, 3, 4 tanks. So this V1 still doing very well for itself. It is somewhat bouncy. It is the lowest tier heavy tank, so that's kind of why, but the M10, I like the Wolverine. Up to 3 kills. And really, there we go. The gap closing ever more. And then expanding yet again. So, I was going to say, it looked like his team might be making a comeback, but now they are down by 4 kills. The enemy really pushing that southern advantage. And it looks like Never Aim's team has an AFK TD on their base. That's unfortunate. And pretty much their main push is right here. This is pretty much all they have left. That tank destroyer is going to get killed because he's AFK. At least that's what I'm assuming. He's just a Hetzer. And SU5 getting a final kill before he has tanks rolling up on him. Now it is 8.0, so that does give that artillery the option to just drive off the cliff, which he looks like he's taking that option. Very smart, Mr. SU5. I do have to say that is definitely the right option to take. And maybe the enemy might lose this simply because they have pushed too hard on the enemy base. And now they are spread out so thin, they might not be able to mount an effective base defense. They got too aggressive and possibly have completely abandoned their base. We'll see very shortly here. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. Artillery trying to ruin NeverAim's day. But NeverAim using his repair kit on his track, apparently deciding that was the best option. I can't really say for sure, and it's really hard to ever tell if that is the best option, but it's a judgment call you always have to make at the time. So a tier 3 tank destroyer not really going to be able to stop him. However, that Stug in that KV-1 will. It's unfortunate that there's still 2 tier 5 tanks on the base. That's going to make it very hard for NeverAim to really do anything, but he's doing a pretty good amount of damage. There we go to this KV-1. If he can just keep knocking it down to size, and there we go, kill number 4. So the enemy team still up by 4 tanks, but it's not quite over yet. That T-82, not really a factor. There we go. Getting eliminated by the Churchill. The Churchill is a very, very bouncy tier 5 tank. Not the Churchill 1. I'm not really a fan of the Churchill 1, I have to say. But the Churchill's premium tank does seem to perform just slightly better. The Stug, very damaged. I can only assume he was hit by artillery, and it looks like he's going to eliminate artillery right now. The Churchill eliminating the enemy's artillery, very good for them. And NeverAim getting shot in his tank's rear end a bit. The SU-5 killing off that Stug 3, and right now it has basically been even out. The enemy has, yes, the enemy still does have 3 tier 5 tanks left, and they still have the advantage. Except for now when that tank lit on fire. So very good. The Wolverine proving itself right here. The enemy team, like I said before, getting a bit too aggressive. Instead of falling back to base and really just taking care of business, they decided to go all the way around. Wow. So this Panzer III probably going to die here very shortly if NeverAim could actually land a single shot. And Panzer III decided to be so kind enough to drive right back out. And NeverAim taking a lot of shots to his tracks and other locations where he's not taking any damage. Now, there are 2 Chaffies left, and they are looking to eliminate him. He's up to 5 kills, very close to another Top Gun. If you recall my last replay in his Elk, he did get Top Gun as well. But this time, he is the top tier, so it is kind of a lot more feasible for him to get it. In that Elk, it was somewhat unexpected, and I'm glad he got it. But this M10 Wolverine still proving itself to be quite the brawler, and he's not even capturing at this point. He's just leaving that to the Churchill, basically using the Churchill as bait. The SU-5 moving up when he really shouldn't have. That's unfortunate because now he's going to die. The M7 medium tank going to eliminate him, maybe, not quite. So this M7 might get drawn out by the SU-5, and he will right there. Okay, so the enemy team getting a bit greedy on kills with the SU-5, and simply missing a shot right there. There we go. NeverAim getting his 6th kill, giving him Top Gun. And there is kill number 7. Just 1-2. Easy as that. So, the enemy team certainly getting too aggressive there towards the end. And simply that was the reason they lost. They had such a vast tank advantage that if they had just kept on base and not pushed, kept a solid ring of defense, you know, fallen back and just played base defense like they were supposed to from the start, there is no doubt in my mind that they could have handled this situation. But like I said, they simply got too aggressive, and that's kind of what I was talking about in that earlier battle with who was it? I cannot recall. It was a T-32. It might have been Minnow, I'm sorry. And yeah, it's probably Minnow. So whereas they played that right, the enemy team here played it wrong. They simply took the long way around and let the enemy get on their base, and then they were put in the... It's basically the roles were switched. NeverAim got on the defensive, which is always the more advantageous position, and the enemy team had to go on the offensive. It was no longer an option. They just had to. So, good job, enemy, for messing up. And good job to you, NeverAim, for getting 7 kills. Very impressive, but like I said, at the same time, as a top tier tank, it is certainly more acceptable, more feasible, and more believable. But anyway, we all know that. So if you like this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, if you got a replay, send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Email is in the description. This has been Spang. Thanks for watching, and I am signing off.